Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, what better way to pay your respects to a legendary horror star than to steal his corpse and take him to a party? Wait, that doesn't sound very respectful at all. Tonight's movie, Frightmare.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! So yeah, that is going to be full of cuts, guts, and sluts. Tonight, we are going to review a movie. Yes, a movie that somewhat pays homage to the horror hosts and the horror stars of yesteryear. Yes, like the Vincent Prices of the world. And that movie is going to be Frightmare. Yes, Frightmare. Otherwise known as the Horror Star. Yes, so what is Frightmare about as we look upon the Vinegar Syndrome special edition slipcover and wonderful artwork here, and of course the reversible art that shows the Frightmare, the Horror Star artwork. Yes, the Blu-ray is currently sitting in my player, fresh from viewing. So this movie is about, well, this group of horror nerds that are at this local university, and they have a horror club, and they love this man, Conrad. He is the horror star, a Vincent Price-like character, except this one is actually evil. Yes, he murders people, and when he dies unexpectedly, the kids have a wonderfully ghoulish idea to celebrate his life, and that is to break into his crypt and steal his body and party until dawn with it. Wow, that seems kind of macabre and crazy. Well, unfortunately for them, he has deals with the demonic, and he isn't quite as dead as they had hoped or believed. I guess they didn't really hope for it, but anyways, and so he is not very happy that his slumber has been interrupted, so he will now put his vengeance upon them in most murderous fashion. Let's get to the scores, shall we? Violence and gore, I am going to give this a 2 out of 5, even though we have a very most delicious decapitation. The movie isn't overly bloody or gory in that matter. In fact, the dispatches are kind of mundane, but they are there and scattered about the second half of the film. So 2 out of 5. Shock value, 1 out of 5. There aren't really any jump scares here, but the shocking thing is about what they do with a corpse. Who thinks of that kind of crazy stuff and dancing with the dead? I mean, come on, you're only asking for the punishment. Anyways, also perhaps what's shocking is how he spent his money to create that really, really funky crypt and those messages that may have been from beyond. Also, who booby traps their place? I mean, seriously, where do you pay people to install poison gas? I mean, come on. I'm sure that stuff has to be regulated somehow, right? Hey, why are you buying 500 pounds of poisonous gas? Oh, it's for a crypt installation. Oh, in that case, no problem. All right. Anyways, moving on to plot. Plot, I am going to give it a 4 out of 5 because, let's face it, this plot is quite original. I mean, come on, I've seen movies about old-time sort of washed up horror stars like the movie Madhouse starring Vincent Price and Theater of Horrors and things like that. And this one is quite unique because it's dead and it's his fans, but his fans are doing really weird stuff. And anyways, I think it's quite ingenious, and the way it does play out makes sense in certain ways, and I just enjoy the whole crypt trap video messaging from the grave type things, and the ending is quite fun, so I'm gonna be very, very appreciative of this film and give it a 4 out of 5. Moving on to acting, I am going to give this a 3 out of 5. Now, the wonderful Jeffery Combs is in this movie and he always gives a great performance. However, in this one, he does feel a little flat from times, especially in the scene where he's running away from our evil killer and he's like, no, get away from me. I've seen him do better, but still wonderful, and everyone else, alright, and they're okay, but I do like the sheriff or detective character, even though, honestly, he does jack all through the movie. I thought he provided some interesting scenes. So, 3 out of 5. Moving on to Nudity, and unfortunately, I am only going to have to give this one a 0.5 out of 5, even though there were many opportunities, especially saying that there is like a somewhat interrupted sex scene, and that's where we get to see just, the really brief moments, but there could have been so much more. I am disappointed in you. You've let me down. Anyways, 0.5 out of 5. Going on to enjoyment factor. It is a 3 out of 5 for me. I enjoy the movie. I wish it was a bit more gory, with a lot more blood, but it's still a fun romp and tickles the fancy and the funny bone, and it is quite original enough for me to find great value in it. So 3 out of 5, and my overall impression is 3 out of 5. It is a solid shocker, popcorn munching, get your friends to watch a scary movie type of movie. Yes, it's a kind of, I think, a trauma release, and it's maybe a bit on the, straight to video feel side of things, but in a way, it still has charm, and it still has entertainment value. So 3 out of 5, and that averages out to a 2.4. Pardon me, it's really hard with this voice. 2.4 out of 5. So there you have it. The Frightmare, or otherwise known as the Horror Star, because apparently there's a British movie called Frightmare also, so people could kind of get confused with them. Anyways, tell me what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree with me, disagree with me, whatever? Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, blah blah, notifications, and thank you again for watching another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And before my brain explodes because making this voice for this long is really giving me a headache, I must say thank you and stay scary, internet. And remember, the best way to pay homage to a deceased celebrity or person you admire is to show up at the funeral, leave flowers at the grave, and say a prayer for the departed. But it's not go break into their crypt and steal their body and then do all kinds of stupid weird shit with it, because that's just plain disrespectful. Okay.